Coach Donnie Daniels, head coach of the Wheelwright Trojans. And Coach, what could be the final homecoming game for the Wheelwright Trojans is Wheelwright High School against Kentucky School for the Deaf. Tell us what you got in way of plans tonight for homecoming, and also about the two football teams.
Well, homecoming is going to be at halftime tonight. They're going to have 12 attendants, and then the former queen, Missy Sloan Tackett, will come out, and then there'll be the new homecoming queen and the last homecoming queen. We plan on recognizing all alumni, all former queens, and it's just going to be a big halftime show, about 20 minutes plus, Chuck. So it's going to be a prolonged halftime. As far as the two teams go, both of us basically same run-oriented teams. Pat Harris from KSD, one of the best backs for his class. He's a freshman, second in the state in rushing, so expect a lot out of him, number 11 in white. My team, we're going to try to find ourselves after 3 losing games here. We're on a 3-game losing streak, and we're going to try to find ourselves again when we won the first 3 games of the season.
Well, you think because they're here at home and what this might be the final homecoming for Wheelwright, the boys fired up and ready to go at it tonight, aren't they?
Well, I think so. I think we're going to play. We talked about it earlier in the week. Had just a heart-to-heart on Monday, and we come out and said we just got to we got to come back out and play the way that we played the first 3 weeks of the season. If we come out and have the same performance we had against Jenkins the other night, then it's going to be a nil Kentucky ball game. But if we come out and play the way we're capable of playing, I look for us to come out on top and a pretty good margin.
Okay, you were talking earlier in the week about a couple of the boys being a little bit banged up. What's their status for tonight?
The Cruz Caldwell is still out. He's going to be out for at least this game, possibly the next, but we keep getting him reevaluated every week. So when the doctor releases him, I'm sure Cruz is chomping at the bits right now. If he had his own way, he would be out here. But at the same time, the doctor says no go, and we're going to wait until they give him the okay, because bruised kidneys is nothing you fool around with.
Well, I know you want to get back on the field with your team. We want to wish you the best of luck, and thanks for having us down.
Thank you, and we appreciate y'all.
Talking with Coach Donnie Daniels of the Wheelwright Trojans here at their homecoming for WPRG Sports.
More than ever, life is full of change, and sometimes change is good. Same with your cable package. By upgrading to streaming with Gearhart TV, you get a ton of features and content. That's entertainment for everyone, no matter what they watch or how they do it. Change doesn't have to be a challenge either. Streaming with Gearhart TV is easy to use on the devices you already have. Ready for change? Contact Gearhart TV and make the switch to streaming today.
Trojans, Chuck Scoville along with Johnny Osborne and Brian Campbell here for what could possibly be Wheelwright's final homecoming game, Johnny. The new school just about completed, and a lot of festivities planned for tonight, as well as a ball game between the Wheelwright Trojans and the Kentucky School for the Deaf.
That's exactly right. Chuck, tonight is Wheelwright's homecoming, and coming up for the football game tonight, we must admit one thing: we don't know a whole lot about the Kentucky School for the Deaf, but hopefully we're going to be having an exciting matchup here tonight.
Well, I talked to Coach Donnie Daniels earlier in the week. He said their team went 6-4 last year. This year, I think he said they were 3-2, a pretty good ball club. And the one player he said to look out for was number 11, Pat Harris. Last year, as an 8th grader, Pat Harris was second in the state of Kentucky in rushing behind Mr. Football Scotty Russell of Everett's High School. And Harris, just a 9th grader this year, picking up where he left off last year. He said that Harris is one of the best backs in the state, and probably the best back that Wheelwright will face this year.
It possibly could be. Chuck, you know, you and me, we have had the opportunity to see Wheelwright play earlier this year. We watched him play Phillips, and a real close game. I believe Montu Oden from Wheelwright ran in a last-second touchdown to win the game.
Yeah, he's just a real exciting player. He's got some great speed. Came in the top 10 in the entire state of Kentucky, I think 6th or 7th overall last year in the hurdles. And Montu Oden, not only a track star, a good football player as well, catching the ball and running with the football.
That's exactly right. And Chuck, I think we're going to be having the homecoming festivities before the game or after halftime? Did Coach Donnie Daniels tell you that?
Donnie Daniels said that they were going to have an extended halftime tonight. They're going to have the homecoming court, which will be about 12 members. They're going to have homecoming queens from the past years and some other things of historical interest to the people here at Wheelwright, as this is probably their last homecoming. Talking to Donnie earlier this week when we were over at the Betsy Lane Allen Central game, he said that the school, they had promised them the school will be ready next fall, and they were already asking the teachers and the faculty at Wheelwright what they were and weren't going to take with them to the new school. So it looks like they're just about ready to move into that new school for next year. So Wheelwright, which has been here, I guess, since the late 1930s, kind of closing out a page or a chapter in history here in Floyd County tonight with their final homecoming game, much like Johns Creek did recently as they become Pike County Central next fall when they merge with Mullins.
That's exactly right, Chuck, and I'll tell you what, we've still got a few minutes before the opening kickoff, and what do you say we go ahead and take another break here?
Okay, we'll come right back after this commercial timeout on WPRG TV5 Sports.
Smile, girl. Act like you like each other.
This is our Chicago.
Stop!
We're gonna enjoy every minute of it.
You two coming or what?
Hey, wake up, brother. It is payback time.
It's bigger than the two of us now.
You gotta decide for yourself who you gonna be.
The Bellator cage has landed.
Okay, welcome back to Brackett Field here at Wheelwright, Kentucky, and we're just about ready for game time. The Wheelwright Trojan High School Band playing the national anthem. The Trojans are here out on the field. The captains from both teams, Wheelwright and Kentucky School for the Deaf, doing the coin toss, and we're going to look out there to see who wins the coin toss, Johnny.
That's exactly right, Chuck. I'll tell you what, we're expecting an exciting game tonight. I'll tell you what, the field conditions are a little bit wet. It has rain kind of off and on today, but I don't know, do you think that's going to be a factor in the game this evening?
I tell you, if they've got to make some quick cuts or try to do some end-around plays, it's going to maybe hinder their footing. We have seen some games where some people's feet have gone out from under them, and tonight in certain spots of the field it looks a little sloshy. Team captains shaking hands. See if we can get the indication from the referee. From what I understand, Wheelwright has won the toss. We've not received an indication from the referee yet, but we'll find out when the teams get out here on the field. Kentucky School for the Deaf, do you know what town that's in? Do you know where they come from?
Chuck, I really don't know about that.
I was thinking somewhere near Danville, but they've come a good ways to play tonight. They play all over the state. They play teams also, schools similar to theirs in Indiana, Tennessee, and Ohio, I think, during their regular season. Then they come out on the road and visit. They played Wheelwright last year, and I guess this is kind of a series that the two teams have have joined together to play. Coach Daniels said that they've got a pretty good ball club. He expects to win tonight. He said that the team has not really played well, Wheelwright I'm speaking of, the last couple of ball games. And he says they had a quiet locker room meeting on Monday, discussed the problems that they had in their last couple of ball games against Fleming, Neon, and Jenkins, some of the mistakes that were made, and he hopes that the problems have been corrected because Wheelwright right on the verge of a playoff spot this year, and I know in their last year of existence as Wheelwright High School, they'd like nothing better than to get into the playoffs. And they were 3-0 starting the season, and they've lost 3 straight, albeit a couple of them to a couple of powerhouse teams, Fleming, Neon, and Pikeville. It's no disgrace to lose to a couple of programs like that, but last week he felt that they should have beaten the Jenkins Cavaliers, and he said the team didn't play well, and he put some of the blame on himself, said that he didn't do a real good job of coaching, and he hoped that things are corrected tonight and that they'll come out and win this homecoming game.
I'll tell you what, Chuck, you were talking about earlier Fleming Neon, and Fleming Neon, I believe they're still one of the few undefeated teams in the state right now, aren't they?
They sure are, and they're in the top 15 or 16 now in the state. Hazard also from this area, one of the top teams in the state, and I tell you, Pikeville is not going to run roughshod over teams this year. Pikeville's got a rebuilding year. They don't have the talent, size, and depth that they've had the last few years, and Neon and Hazard both looking very much forward to playing Pikeville this year.
Well, Chuck, I do believe that we're about ready for the kickoff.
Kicking off is number 22. That's Terry Hensley for the Kentucky School for the Deaf. It goes back to number 22 for Wheelwright. See if we can catch the number here. Wheelwright has changed and gone into some different uniform numbers tonight. I think that Muntu Oden was the man that caught that football and ran it back for the Wheelwright Trojans. They've changed. They're using their maroon jersey tonight.
I believe he made it down to about the 24-yard line, didn't he there, Chuck?
Yeah, good little run back. This field is a dual-purpose field, as you can see on camera here. They use it for baseball, so I think footing will be rather treacherous over in that corner, but Wheelwright in the grassy section of the field right now with 1st and 10. Shelton hands off straight up the middle, and a nice run, good power running, more than enough for the first down on the first carry of the ball game, about a 13-yard gain.
I'll tell you what, Chuck, that time he was covered up by a host of players for the Kentucky School for the Deaf that time.
And number 32 on the carry for the Trojans. They've changed these numbers all around on me, Johnny. That's Arnold Adams. He's keeping the same jersey he's had. I was looking for a different number, and that's the same number Arnold's had all year, thank goodness, because he's one of the workhorses in the backfield. Shelton under center. Hands off this time to number 22, Muntu Oden finds a little opener on the left-hand side and picks up about 5-6 yards on the carry.
I'll tell you what, so far the Wheelwright Trojans, they're doing an excellent job with the running game, Chuck.
They are primarily a running team. In that game against Phelps, they didn't pass much. They passed a couple of times, but one pass went to Muntu Oden, and it was a huge gainer, something like 85, 90 yards. So when they do pass, they usually try to get it into the hands of the speedster Muntu Oden, but they run about 90% of the time. Shelton hands off, straight up the middle, first man through. Close to that first down marker. Let's see where they spot the football. He got up near the marker before he was driven back. I think it was Arnold Adams. Yes, it was on the carry.
Once again, he was covered up by a host of the Kentucky School for the Deaf players that time, Chuck.
About 5 or 6 of them in on the tackle, and nothing fancy for Wheelwright so far. They're just trying the middle, trying to pretty much straight power eye football right now, much like we saw Allen Central on Monday night. Allen Central, nothing fancy. They just handed off to the halfback and the fullback and pounded Betsy Lane's line all night long. And it looks like Wheelwright's content to do that now. Hand off to Arnold Adams. He breaks through a hole, and he's off to the races, and he's going to score.
And
nice run.
Trojans, they strike first, Chuck.
See if we can get the yardage on that touchdown run. About a 42-yard run. That's me estimating. The yard marker's not out on the far side of the field tonight, but a good long run by Adams. He broke through the line and outran one of the defenders, and I could see the backfield man for the Kentucky School for the Deaf kind of admonishing the other player for not coming over to cover that because he was out of position and they just took it right in. Nice pitch from Shelton to Montu Oden, gets the 2-point conversion, and Wheelwright takes an 8-0 lead here early in the first quarter. And with the score, Wheelwright 8, Kentucky School for the Deaf nothing. We'll be right back after this timeout on WPRG TV5 Sports.
When life's unfortunate events happen, we sometimes see people at their worst. That's why we make it our goal to give them our best. If you've been involved in an auto accident, have a workers' compensation, Social Security, or SSI claim, you need an attorney with proven results. You need John Earl Hunt.
I'm attorney John Earl Hunt. I believe in the U.S. Constitution, and I support the American flag. I'm a country lawyer. I'd be honored to represent you in your case. I'll treat you right. I'll do the best I can to help you.
Wheelwright scoring rather quickly, Johnny. Able to find some holes in that defense for KSD and just took it right in for the touchdown, getting the 2-point conversion, quick 8-0 lead.
That's exactly right, Chuck. The Wheelwright Trojans, they showed their strength. They were pushing the ball with the run that time, and I was kind of impressed with their strength that time, the way they did. They were able to push that ball up the field.
Big number 78 out there to kick off for Wheelwright. That's Sean Curry, 6'6", 320-pound sophomore for Wheelwright. And we hopefully he'll keep the ball within the stadium here because he is a big one. And he does a little short boot, and I think we've got a flag. Maybe somebody left too early for Wheelwright on the coverage.
And from the way that the players from the Kentucky School from the Deaf are signaling, I believe the penalty is against Wheelwright.
Yeah, I think Curry kind of slow-stepped up there to kick, and one of the coverage men was ahead of him before he kicked the football, so they're going to mark it back about 5 yards, and he'll have to kick over. First kick, kind of a squib kick. I thought he was really going to lay the boot to it, but maybe a little strategy on Wheelwright's part. They're going to try to keep it out of the hands of Harris, who's back there to run it back in the middle for KSD.
Well, Chuck, you never know the way that Donnie Daniels is thinking out there, and this time he may come out and put it all the way into the end zone. You never know.
I'll tell you that game Monday night that Don and Donnie Daniels and I did over there at Betsy Lane, a lot of strategy, some trick plays, some different things done by two teams, neither of which had won a ball game, but it was quite an entertaining ball game to see what they did. Now this one comes to an up back. Number 86, that's Shane Lord with the football for the Kentucky School for the Deaf, and he brings the ball up about 15 yards on the run back, and they've got great field position. They're in Wheelwright territory inside the 50-yard line. We'll try to keep these yard lines as close as we can. No markers on the far side, so we're just estimating right now. About the 49-yard line of Wheelwright looks like where they're going to start off in under center is Terry Hensley, number 22. He's got the football on a keeper, picks up about, good gainer, finds a hole,
go all the way.
Missed tackle, and he's drugged down from behind there by Wheelwright, number 34.
Rodney Jackson, we know that name well.
Rodney, a fine linebacker for the Wheelwright Trojans. He was in on tackles all night long down at Phelps a few weeks ago.
I'll tell you what, that's exactly right. I think that he is definitely one of the best in the district, if not in the state, Chuck.
He sure is. He's a good hitter, and he's got good quickness back there. And I tell you, he probably saved a touchdown there because Hensley was off to the races. Hensley up to the line. Hands off, up the middle, now to the right side. Number 33, Ed Greer, the fullback, takes it around the left side, picks up some good yardage.
I'll tell you what, Chuck, looks like the running game is also working for the Kentucky School for the Deaf tonight.
Good 8-yard gain there by Greer. So far, the speedster, Pat Harris, has not touched the football, so maybe Kentucky School for the Deaf going to keep the quarterback and the fullback hammer in the middle and try to lull Wheelwright into something and then hand off to Harris and surprise him here later. This one goes to Harris. He's around the corner, turns the corner. He outruns a couple of defenders, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown. The majority of the yardage gained by Hensley and Greer, but Harris cuts around the corner and showed that good quickness, takes it in 4-6 for the Kentucky School for the Deaf, and they're probably going to go for 2 here, too, to tie it up.
I'd say you're right, Chuck. I'll tell you what, from the way that things are starting out here tonight, it looks like we could have a high-scoring game on our hands tonight.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have a good, exciting ball game. Both these teams with some explosive offense, and I know Coach Daniels is wanting a little better defensive play out of Wheelwright. The last few weeks, they've given up quite a few yards to Fleming Neon and to...
He's in. Number 11.
And that's Harris, just straight up the middle. Dodges the tackler. A couple of missed tackles that time by the Trojans, and we've got an 8-8 ball game with still 8 minutes and 43 seconds remaining in this first quarter of play. We'll go ahead and take a quick timeout on WPRG Channel 5 Sports.
Not everyone gets this excited when they discover the joy of Gearhart TV. But it happens. It's kind of a thrill to see every channel in HD. Go back in time with Replay and Restart TV. Record to the cloud. And watch TV everywhere on any device with no set-top box. Your excitement may vary, but there's a lot to cheer about Gearhart TV. Available now. Visit mygtv.com now to sign up.
Caring for the loved ones of others during their twilight years can be an emotionally challenging task. Don't mistake that challenge as something completely draining. There's a lot of potential for a hospice nursing career to be emotionally rewarding. Hospice nurses seek to help patients live life to its fullest. If you feel this is where your heart can truly help others, email us at info@apphchs.org or call Appalachian Hospice and Home Health Services today.
Kentucky Trojans, we're here at Brackett Field. Chuck Scoville along with Johnny Osborne and Brian Campbell, and number 22, Terry Hensley, the quarterback. Got the team lined up, and number 52, Matt Callahan, big center, going to boot the ball away for the Kentucky School for the Deaf. Goes out to number 33, who snags it in midair. That's Kelly Berger, and he's up around the sideline, finding some good yardage as he makes it out near midfield.
I'll tell you what, Chuck, you can tell with the field conditions out there, it's still a little bit wet, and I think that before the game's over, there might be some players out there wearing a lot of brown tonight.
Yeah, they're going to be slipping and sliding, and if they don't have the longer cleats, which I don't even know if they're allowed to play with anymore, back in years gone by, I'm not going to tell you how old I am, they used to have 2 or 3 sets of cleats, and when you had a muddy night, you could put on those long ones, but nowadays, I don't know if they're allowed to use them, and there's going to be some people slipping and sliding as they turn the corner or hit those muddy spots in the field. Well, Teeter Shelton got his team lined up at center, barking out the signals. Split backfield, hands off to Muntu Oden. He's hitting the backfield, picks up a yard or two, though, as he fights through the line. Oden almost tackled for a big loss there, Johnny, but he fought and got a couple of yards out of it.
I'll tell you what, Muntu Oden, he is a quick one out there, and that's for sure, Chuck. I've seen many times he thought he was going to go down, but I think his speed and his agility really pays off for him.
Talked to Donnie Daniels about some of these ball players, Muntu Oden in particular. Asked him if they had any colleges call them or look at them, and he said there's not been a soul down to Wheelwright, and he said that record-setting quarterback Jesse Watts from Sheldon Clark had not even gotten a call from any of the small colleges, which is very unusual. We've got some fine football players over here in Eastern Kentucky, and some of them being overlooked.
I'll tell you what, Chuck, that is very true, and I'll tell you what, it looks like Wheelwright, what did they pick up there, maybe about 10, 15 yards?
Yeah, Arnold Adams broke through and carried a defender with him about 5 or 6 yards there, and they got the first down.
Yeah, he was tackled by the quarterback, Terry Hensley, number 22 for the Kentucky School for the Deaf.
A lot of these teams use players both ways. Hensley playing in there in the secondary as well as quarterback for Wheelwright, and Kentucky School for the Deaf, and you'll see the same thing on the Wheelwright side.
Looks like we have a timeout on the field, Chuck.
KSD's coach out there, that's Roger Coyer, talking to the team. I'm sure he's not real happy with the defense he's seen so far. Wheelwright's been picking up yardage pretty much at will, and he's trying to get the defense stiffening up here a little bit as Wheelwright's picked up about 20 yards on a couple of plays so far.
That's right, Chuck. It's like I said before, tonight we definitely could have a high-scoring ball game. You never know.
Well, I'd rather see, a 45-40 game than one that's 3-0. That's just my personal enjoyment there, but we're going to have a good one here tonight. It looks like they're going to march up and down the field unless one of them decides to start playing some defense real quick. Shelton hands off to Oden, and now there's some defense real quick. Number 11, Pat Harris, wraps up Oden for no gain on that one.
I'll tell you what, Chuck, that was an impressive defensive play that time, and you never know, maybe the head coach for the Kentucky School for the Deaf has sparked a little life into his team here.
Second down and still 10.5 yards to go. I'm really surprised that they use Oden up the middle so much. He's got that breakaway speed to the outside, and I figured they'd hammer the middle with Adams and pitch out wide to Oden and let him try to go around in, but he's strong enough to take it up the middle. Shelton on a keeper, pitches back to Oden. Oden finds some running room and very close to the first down marker as he gets knocked out of bounds on the near side of the field.
He was tackled that time by Jamie Walker, another quarterback for the Kentucky School for the Deaf, Chuck.
And Pat Harris over there on the play as well, and Wheelwright very close. No, they're going to say he went out of bounds upfield a few yards. Going to make it about a 4th down and 3.5, 4 yards to go as he went out of bounds a little bit earlier than we thought he did. And Wheelwright, much like Phelps, they don't punt the football too much, Johnny. They're going to go for it here. Adams in motion. They hand off straight up the middle and nothing doing there. Number 23.
He was definitely taken for a loss that time, Chuck.
Check the number here on number 23 for Wheelwright, and that's Matt Johnson with the carry, and he got absolutely nowhere, and Kentucky School for the Deaf going to take over on downs as that defense did stiffen after Coach Coyer went out there.
That's right, Chuck, and maybe we'll see now if the Wheelwright Trojans can hold the Kentucky School for the Deaf. See if their defense has been sparked any life themselves.
Well, Hensley handing off straight up the middle that time. Let's see who the running back is for KSD as they unpile. Might have been the fullback Greer on the carry because I know it wasn't Harris. Hensley, the quarterback, number 22, given off to either Shield or Greer, and I think Greer's the one that's in the backfield at fullback. Also in there, number 24, Anton Jackson. This time, Hensley on a keeper, turns the corner, picks up enough for the first down.
I'll tell you what, Chuck, it looked like he was ready to pitch it out to someone, but he went enough for the first down.
Jackson trailing on the play, and Wheelwright's defenders paying more attention to Jackson really than Hensley, and Hensley finding enough around the right side in there for the first down. Ball up around the 46-yard line. Hensley under center, handoff goes on misdirection play to number 24 Jackson, and he's stopped in the backfield. Jackson shaking his head. I don't know whether he was angry that the play was blown dead or angry that he didn't have any blocking on that particular carry. Loss of about 2 on the play, make it 2nd and 12. Hensley going with a split backfield. Jackson flanked out wide, and Hensley wrapped up as soon as he gets the football. Number 62 in there for Wheelwright.
Number 62, Steve Bates, a senior from Wheelwright.
Hit us, blew right by the center and had Hensley before he had a chance to do anything with that football, Johnny.
I'll tell you what, Chuck, I don't know where he came from, but he did come and get him quick.
That's not the quarterback's fault that time, folks. The line just did not do their job. The quarterback didn't even have a second, let alone 2 or 3 to pass or hand the football off. Hensley back under center. He's back rolling around on the left-hand side. Keeper, he slips and he's drugged down. Great defense that time by Wheelwright. Merlin Isaac on the tackle for Wheelwright. Big loss that time for KSD, and the blocking's broken down after a nice opening run. They've lost yardage the last 2 times.
I'll tell you what, Chuck, that's exactly right, and I do believe that the Kentucky School for the Deaf is going to be punting now.
Well, we'll see what number 52, that is normally the center, Matt Callahan. He's going to be doing the kicking. That ball's got to be slippery and wet, and it's blocked. Wheelwright had 3 defenders in there on it and covered upfield and knocked out of bounds by KSD, and they're not a happy bunch. The Callahan not happy at all. Didn't have time to kick that one.
I'll tell you what, Chuck, I don't know what happened that time, but once again, a bunch of Wheelwright defenders just kind of blew through the line like you were talking about earlier.
And they're getting on each other out there. Callahan talking about the blocking, and he's not happy at all about the way the team blocked for him, and I don't think Hensley was the last 2 times he had the football either, because Wheelwright just slicing right through. They didn't have any time at all.
Wheelwright has excellent field position right now. Hopefully they will be able to capitalize on that, Chuck.
Got a full house backfield now. Shelton hands off. First man through is Arnold Adams. He picks up 2 or 3 tough yards. Tackle in there by Callahan, number 52, and also number 62, Robert Smith for KSD. Make it about 2nd and 7 for the Trojans. They're inside the Kentucky School for the Deaf territory. Looks like about the 33-yard line. Still a nice crowd considering the weather here tonight, Johnny. It's rained just about all day long, and people still pouring into the stadium. Handoff to Oden, and nowhere to go that time. Nothing doing.
He was taken down by number 60, Cliff Cleary, a guard for the Kentucky School for the Deaf.
5 yards on that.
They kind of returned the favor to the Trojans there. They were in all over Oden before he had a chance to move upfield with the football too. So the blocking not exactly stellar here the last couple of possessions for either ball club. Shelton on the line, steps up under center, has the football, fakes the handoff to Oden, back to pass, finds number 88 wide open. He's got the football, and off to the races he goes, and he's into the end zone. Charles Johnson, junior end, slicing around that corner there, and number 16, Jamie Walker, not able to run him down. He gets into the corner of the end zone, and Wheelwright has scored.
I'll tell you what, Chuck, that was an excellent pass from the Wheelwright quarterback that time. That's about all you can say right there. And the receiver, he was able to outrun a couple of defenders that time also.
Yeah, Shelton doesn't throw much, but that pass right on the money, and Johnson was wide open and took it in. 14-8. Wheelwright with the lead, and they're going for 2 on this one. They got a couple of wideouts. Oden in motion. Shelton keeps it, pitches off to Oden. Oden around the corner. He's going to tiptoe into the corner of the end zone. Outruns Walker again, so Walker's been beat on the left side and beat on the right side as Wheelwright gets it into the end zone. That makes it a 16-8 score with about 2 minutes and 53 seconds remaining in the first quarter. We'll go ahead and take another break on WPRG Channel 5 Sports.
Everybody remember the game.
Now's your chance for a great deal on smoking fast internet from Gearhart Broadband. Upgrade to the smoldering speed you need, up to 1 gig, and add Plume adaptive Wi-Fi to reach every corner of your home. Experience no-lag gaming, your favorite music, web surfing, HD video streaming, and connect to the latest smart devices. If you're ready for an upgrade, call or click Gearhart Broadband for a great offer today.
My family means everything, and I'll do whatever it takes to make sure they're safe in our home. I started with this, a whole home security system with 24/7 monitoring. We control our system from anywhere, and wherever I am, I can see my family's okay.
You'd do anything to protect your family. Start with this, a smart home security system from Gearhart Security. Call or visit gearhartsecurity.com to learn more.
And number 66 going to kick off this time. That's Merlin Isaac for Wheelwright. Maybe Donnie Daniels giving some of these linemen a chance to boot the ball tonight, Johnny. This is the second or third guy they've had kick, and Isaac puts that one in the air. It's taken by upback, number 33, Ed Greer. And he kind of loses the handle on it and falls on it. That's a smart thing to do. And KSD will start out about the 38-yard line.
That's not bad field position to be starting from, Chuck.
So far, no one's really put the boot to the ball. These kicks have been kind of low and short, and that one, Greer had a little running room ahead of him, but kind of bobbled it, so he fell on it. But as you said, 38-yard line, a good spot to start. Hensley up under center, split backfield. Fakes the handoff to Anton Jackson. Hensley on the keeper, goes around the right end, and he picks up good yardage, about 8 yards.
He was tackled that time by number 55, Ronnie Newsom from Wheelwright.
Wheelwright missing one of their big time hitters and linebackers, Cruz Caudle, so Robert Jackson going to have to do a yeoman's job back there. He and Caudle, two of the best linebackers in the area. Caudle had bruised kidneys. The doctor said, no, you cannot play tonight. Caudle wanted to play and thought he was able to play, but they're not going to release him probably until next week. Hensley up under center. Split backfield, gives off to number 11, Harris, and he's got nowhere to go. He's going to lose some big yardage there. Going to take the ball back about 5 yards on that loss.
The initial hit was laid by number 88, Charles Johnson, a junior from Wheelwright that time, Chuck, and once again for a loss, like you said.
Loss of 5, make it 3rd and 7 for KSD. So far, Harris has broken that one run around the right end early in the ball game, and the rest of the time they've kept him pretty well in check.
And one other thing, Chuck, I'd like to add quickly, it looks like the Wheelwright defense is starting to hold up now.
Hensley fakes the handoff, goes the other way, and nothing doing. He was looking to maybe hand off to Jackson. Jackson was well covered by the defense. Hensley kept the ball and lost some more yards. It looks like about a loss of 3 or 4. Going to make it about a 4th and 11 or 12 for the Kentucky School for the Deaf here.
Once again, that was Ronnie Newsom on the tackle, number 55 for Wheelwright.
So let's see what they're going to do here. Hensley stepped back like he was going to punt. Now he's stepping back like he's going to punt. Last time Callahan was the kicker. Let's see what Hensley can do. They were all over Callahan last time. Hensley gets the kick away. Short kick, and it's going to be covered about the 42-yard line of Wheelwright there as it was touched by number 66. Excuse me, number 76, I guess, Scotty Weaver. He turned around, the ball just kind of hit him, and that's where the ball is dead, the 42-yard line. The referee bringing out a dry ball now.
Chuck, we've got just a little under 30 seconds left in the first quarter of action.
So far, a pretty entertaining ball game. Both teams able to gain some yardage, but as you said, the defenses for both teams kind of stiffening here the last go-round. Let's see what Wheelwright can do on offense. Shelton under center. Gives off to Adams, and good read that time. Pat Harris was on him as soon as he had the football, and he was tackled for no gain, maybe a loss of 1. Let's see where they mark the ball.
And the first quarter's over.
That's the end of the first quarter with the score. Wheelwright 16, the Kentucky School for the Deaf 8. We'll be back after these commercial messages on WPRG TV5 Sports.
When life's unfortunate events happen, we sometimes see people at their worst. That's why we make it our goal to give them our best. If you've been involved in an auto accident, have a workers' compensation, Social Security, or SSI claim, you need an attorney with proven results. You need John Earl Hunt.
I'm attorney John Earl Hunt. I believe in the U.S. Constitution, and I support the American flag. I'm a country lawyer. I'd be honored to represent you in your case. I'll treat you right. I'll do the best I can to help you.
Quarter with having the football. Shelton under center. And we got a no flag on the play. It looked like KSD jumped off sides, but in any event, Wheelwright gaining negative yardage that time. I think Shelton on a keeper lost about 3.
He was tackled that time by Ed Greer, a fullback for the Kentucky School for the Deaf.
While we were on break, we noticed Kentucky School for the Deaf. They brought cheerleaders, and they've got their mascot over on the far side. Looks like a old-time Kentucky colonel over there with the big white hat, the white suit, and the green tie. Of course, green and white, KSD's colors. Shelton up under center. Oden in motion. Doesn't hand off to Oden. He fires up the middle to number 80, and a wide open catch, and he misses the tackle missed there by number 56, and
he's 2 for 2 tonight.
It was brought down that time by Robert Smith, number 62 for the Kentucky School for the Deaf.
Patrick Tackett with the catch, and
How many yards did he pick up there?
I'd say close to 20 yards. Picked up 5 or 6 extra yardage on that catch because tackle was missed by the secondary man on that play. And Wheelwright, after running, they run 5 or 6 times, and it kind of opens things up for those passing lanes. Blitz this time by KSD, and that's exactly where Wheelwright runs the football, and they pick up a yard or 2 on that carry.
It was covered up that time by a host of the Kentucky School for the Deaf players, Chuck.
Looks like number 60, one of the linebackers, was going to blitz that time, and a quick handoff by Shelton went right into the exact area where the blitz was coming from, and not much yardage gained that time.
But still, Wheelwright does have a good field position right now, Chuck.
They sure do. They're inside the KSD 40-yard line, about the 38. Handoff to Oden. He's sweeping around the right end. A couple of blockers out in front of him, but good pursuit that time. Looked like number 11, Pat Harris, ran him down for no gain. He may have lost a yard.
I think you're right that time, Chuck.
2 yards. Looks like it'd be 3rd down and about 11.
3rd and 11 play, so he lost a couple of yards on that play. And Wheelwright, they pick up some yardage, and then the defense for KSD stiffens up. They've got a 3rd and 11 here. Let's see what they call.
You never know, Chuck. Donnie Daniels might have him come out passing again.
Got a couple people flanked out and one way out wide. Shelton fakes the handoff, looks to pass, and he's brought down in the backfield. They knew right away that he was going to pass that football, and he was brought down by Callahan and
number 82, Larry Smith.
Great pursuit that time, and big loss. That's going to make it about a 4th and close to 20 yards to go, so Wheelwright going to have to give up the football this time. Shelton, not a big kid. He's a 5'9", 160-pounder, and he was drugged down hard in the backfield. Didn't have any time to throw that football at all. Back to punt, Arnold Adams. Nice kick for Adams. Gets a great roll. It's going to roll all the way down near the end zone, and I think it's rolled into the end zone.
I think they're going to mark it at either the 1 or 2 yard line, Chuck.
Can't see from our vantage point, but the referee is not signaling a touchback, so they may be down there pinned in deep.
Chuck, I believe the Kentucky School for the Deaf that time definitely got a bad break.
Great bounce for Adams there. That's about a 45, 50-yard punt. I guess about 40 from the line of scrimmage, but from where it kicked it closer to 50, and it rolled all the way down to the 1 or 2 yard line. So they're going to start out deep in the hole this time and see what kind of defense Wheelwright plays. If they can hold them up here, they're going to have great field position. Have not seen the quarterback Hensley throw the football tonight. Let's see if KSD's got any kind of a passing attack. They may need to use it this time out. And a quick hitter over the right side gains little or no yardage there. It looks like one of the KSD players hit hard and down on the field.
That was Ronnie Newsom with the tackle that time, Chuck, and I believe you're right. We do have a player down.
I think it may be Pat Harris. May have just gotten, no, he's coming up limping there. He got hit maybe up in the upper thigh, got a Charlie horse, and he's going to come off for a play or two.
3 yards, putting KSD 2nd down and about 13.
So they lost some yardage. I guess that ball was marked closer to the 5. Right now it's on about the 2. We can't see at the angle we're in, and the rain has kind of knocked a lot of the markings off the field. They're on about the 2 yard line. I guess they started out about the 5. They've got a 2nd and 13 to go now. Hensley under center. Everybody in close, hands off, straight up the middle, and very little yardage there.
I think you're right, Chuck. He was tackled up that time by a host of Wheelwright defenders.
Number 24, that's Anton Jackson with the ball carrying duties now that Harris is out, and he didn't pick up much.
Jackson on the carry for KSD, brought in by a host of Trojans. No gain.
No gain, so they've got a 3rd and about 13 to go. You hate to pass down here because an interception would be almost a sure touchdown, but they're not gaining much on the ground either, and Wheelwright may come out of this with great field position if they can hold them here.
Fumble. And I do believe the Wheelwright Trojans have recovered.
They sure do, Johnny. The referee signaling that Wheelwright has the ball.
And once again, excellent field position for the Wheelwright Trojans. What are they going to have the ball on, about the maybe 3-4 yard line, Chuck?
Yeah, they're down deep and knocking on the door. They've got 4 chances to take it in from about 2 or 3 yards out.
I believe you're right, Chuck.
So KSD doing something they definitely did not want to do, coughing up the football deep.
Chuck, in this situation, are we looking for Montu Odin once again?
Maybe a pitch out to Muntu or just straight up the middle with Arnold Adams, but Shelton looks like he's going to keep it, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown. Peter Shelton scores with 6:33 remaining here in the first half of play, and that ups the lead for Wheelwright to 22 to 8.